Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and today I'm going to do some work on my 1991 Daimler XJ40. There'll be some cosmetic fixes and some other things as well. We'll see how much time I have today. If I sound a little bit odd, it's because I'm recovering from a cold. The whole family had it. We got tested. Thankfully, it was not COVID, but still sort of lost my voice a little bit. It's starting to come back today, so I'm going to try and do some work out here and try to film. So hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. If you like these sort of cars and you're new to my channel, I hope you stick around and consider subscribing. I put new videos every week, so there's always something new and fun to watch here on the channel. Anyways, let's walk around the other side of the car and I'll show you what we'll start with. We have the beginnings of what should be a pretty severe rainstorm here, but hopefully you guys can still hear me pretty well. There's a metal roof here, and I can only have one of the doors open because of the wind, so hopefully you'll be able to see as well. Here are the old rear lights. You see they're cracked. This one is not the worst one. The other one is worse. We'll look at that one in a little bit. But they're a little hard to get a hold of for the Daimler because they're smoked, as you can see. And they these have the chrome bezel on them. Some of them don't. Some of yours don't. I'm not really sure which ones do and which ones don't. But these ones do. I have a couple sets of used one that I picked up from my friend Steve at English Car Care. This one is the right one here. It's pretty good. Has a slight little mark up there, but really for being an old one of these, I mean, they're 30 years old. It's pretty good. So I think I'll mount it, and when it's on there, I will at some point polish and wax this car. Still haven't done that yet. I'll polish these up and it should look pretty good. Onto this side, however, which has the worst one. As you can see, it is completely cracked. And on that side, I have a very nice one. This one doesn't have a chrome bezel on it though, so I'll remove the chrome bezel from this one to glue it on that one, or at least try. That is the plan. The reason I think they're cracked is, well, one of them, of course, is due to age. The other one being probably people slamming the boot lid shut and then shocking them, because when I got the car, these struts were completely worn out, so I put new ones on there, and now you see it stays up very nicely, but it didn't before, so it probably slammed down a couple times with the previous owner, and that probably did not help these at all. But they should be pretty straightforward to remove. Got the cover here with a couple of thumb screws back here, and then these are in place. But I'll set up a light so you guys can see a little bit more. Set up the camera and let's start removing them. Now you should be able to see a little bit better. Here is the cover for basically changing out the bulbs. It's a really nice solution on these cars. So there's some thumb screws. Get those out of the way. Then there's this plastic cover. And then there is this little cover here as well. There we go, and you pull that back. And here is basically the circuit board with all the little taillights. It's very cool. I'm going to tell you what they are. So you can unclip that there. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. There we go. Put that to the side, and we can see the nuts here holding this whole light fixture in place. I'll get those out. We'll get this out. May need to clean around here and then put the used one in place. They're just some 8mm little nuts in here. Should be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to move some of the carpet out of the way here. And here is, I don't know if you can see, I'll show it a little bit later otherwise. Here's the lamp control module for one of the rear sides. Remember in a previous video I had a problem with the lamp control module in the front, or one of them, and I replaced that one, so now you know where the rear ones are. That is the last nut, so I think these should push out now. Yep, I can feel it starting to come out. Just gonna be careful about it so it doesn't shoot across the room and hit the other car there. Alright. There we go. There is some built-up dirt and dust in here I would clean out, but thankfully there's no rust. But since these XJ40s, they sort of do love to rust, once I've cleaned all this up and I've let it dry, I am just going to put some cavity wax to spray over here. I'll hold some cardboard behind there so nothing gets into the car. Let that dry a little bit and then put the other one back. That will just help any future corrosion. Maybe I'll scrape off some of the paint when I put the lights back in. You never know. That is a good thing. But then when we're done this side, we'll move on to the other side, which will involve removing that little piece of fake plastic chrome or whatever it is. See if I can get that off delicately and move it over to the other one. I've cleaned up this area with some warm water and dried it carefully. Just have some cardboard behind here. And since these cars do enjoy rusting, I'm going to put a little bit of rust proofing on there. This is just some cavity wax. It's the clear kind, but it does help with, you know, any future rust issues in here. I'm going to do the other side as well. And while that dries, we'll have a look of getting that decorative chrome piece off of the other taillight. Here's the light I removed for the lens. And if you can see here, you can definitely tell why I'm replacing it. It is so cracked. It's really, really bad. However, I need this piece of chrome strip around it. And I just looked at it a little bit. It seems to just be a couple tabs bent down. It seems to actually be made of metal, not plastic like I initially thought. So let's get a screwdriver. Let's see if we can bend any of these tabs up. And then I think there are two little tabs here as well. Maybe it's a little bit glued down as well. Let me see. After a lot of testing, I figured that there is an adhesive as well, which made sense. And I think I found the easiest solution to get it off is, I'm not saving this light anyway, is heating it up slightly. And that should let the adhesive let go, hopefully. I mean, the rest of this light is completely trash. If this doesn't work, I did look at the spare one I have, and it's actually in not that bad shape. It's just the other one's a lot nicer, and then I can fit that one instead if this does not work out. But let's see. It's starting to let go. All right, taking some of the light with it, that's okay. But whoever glued this on at the factory did a really good job. It's still hanging on. Tabs were really unnecessary. Okay, I think a little bit more heat here to get that glue off, and we should be in business. Like butter. There we go. And the good thing is that it's stainless, so if I did put some small marks in it now, I can, or at least I think it's stainless. Feels like it. At least it feels like something I can polish. So I'm gonna clean all of this off now, and then we'll have to glue it onto the new one. They seem to use some type of felt stuff. I'll use some Sikaflex or some windscreen sealant, something like that. But I got some cleaning to do first. Let's see if it fits on here before I use any glue. It fits perfectly. That looks really, really nice. And I'll show you what the other spare one I have is. This one, and you see it has a crack there and a few things. So this one is definitely a lot better. And now we know that you can swap these over. So if I find a set of, or another smoked one for the other side, which is in better condition than the one I have, I know I can move over this little piece of stainless and it will look really nice. I will glue that in place now. And while that dries, we'll go and have a look at some other things on the car. I've now mounted one of the newer taillights. This is not the one that I glued. That one is still drying. But this is the right side and it looks a lot better, I think. I mean, it does have a tiny bit of something there and something there, but it is a lot better than the old one I have. And very, very happy about that. I will keep my eye open if I can find a really nice right one. Preferably like a new old stock or something, because the other one is really immaculate. And now with the chrome piece being glued on there, it will look very nice. But while that dries, I thought we could have a look at another thing. Up here in the engine bay, I thought we'd just have a quick look at one thing. I have mentioned in the previous video, but in case you missed that or you're new to the channel, this car did stall out on the highway for me in the middle of the night in a rainstorm, and it was dark in the middle of the night. I didn't do any troubleshooting. It wouldn't fire up. I mean, it would kind of catch and then not fire, so there was some life in it. Definitely felt like fuel starvation when it was happening, but the fuel pump was running and all of that. So I haven't checked the fuel pressure or anything. However, fuel pressure regulator is the original one, so I thought, you know what, let's just order up a new one. It should be here in 2 days or so I will fit that. However, the couple of weeks before that happened, I did notice a couple of things, but one of them I sort of thought maybe it was because it was kind of cold out, but it would take longer to crank over when it was cold, like dead cold. When it was warm, it would crank over and start right away, but it would take quite a while, almost as if it was, building fuel pressure. So I thought we'd try that now. I've charged up the battery, and let's see how long it takes to crank over now and start up, and I can use this as a reference when I replace the fuel pressure regulator in a future video, see if it's better. So one other thing I did notice, like a couple days before that happened, I had a check engine light for a fuel fail 26, I believe, which is a lean fuel condition, and I checked there are no vacuum leaks or anything like that. So maybe there is something wrong here with the fuel pressure regulator. But I have the keys here, so let's see if this thing fires up. It has been sitting here, I don't know, maybe a month or close to 2. It's been quite a while, but let's see how it fires up. I'm actually going to let it prime. We'll let it prime 3 times and see what happens. You see that? It cranked for quite a while. Yeah, bulb failure is on. That's because I have a whole module disconnected back there. Let's turn this on so you can see. But it is running fine otherwise. I'm going to let it run for a little bit, just don't want to turn it off right away. And then I'm going to pull the fuel pump relay to depressurize the fuel rail. So I'm ready to take all that apart in a future video. It's been running for a couple of minutes now, so I'm getting ready to pull the fuel pump relay. But just one thing that also, when it is not fully warmed up, I'm not sure if you can tell, I mean, it's not misfiring, but it is definitely not dead smooth. It revs nice and freely, but it is definitely not as smooth as I know these can be. But let's pull that to depressurize the fuel rail. And we are out of fuel. Perfect. Okay, so just a quick recap if you haven't been following along before. A lot of things are new. I mean, all the tune-up parts on this car are new. Everything from air filter to spark plugs, all of that, cap and rotor. O2 sensor is new, and other things. So every single time I do something, it runs better and better. The crank position sensor is new as well. So let's see what a difference this will make. And then of course I will be replacing other things as well. I mean, not right now, but very soon. Got the fuel lines here, I'm going to be replacing those. And I have all of the coolant hoses as well, so we'll be doing that. New clamps, new coolant, a new thermostat, because sometimes it opens a little bit too early. So that is also a thing I want to look into, but overall, it's starting to turn into a pretty nice car, this one. It's the next day. I let the glue dry overnight, and now both of the taillights are in place. And I just have the lights on to show you, and I think they look really nice. I mean, this one does have a few little marks in it, like we said, but it's a lot better than the old one. And the one that I glued here, I mean, that looks pretty much brand new. That is really, really good. I just polished this a tiny bit, but it's still curing a little bit, so I will polish that in the future when I look over the whole car. But I'll turn the light on here again so you guys can see them a little differently. And I mean, I hope you can see. It's a little difficult with shadows and all of that, but they are in really, really nice shape. Now the back of the car looks a lot better than before. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you liked following along with the new taillights and some other things on the XJ40. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more content on the XJ40. I do have a lot of things I'm doing on this car right now. But let me know if you want me to film those and make videos of that. So let me know if you want to watch that down in the comments below. Anyways, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Anyways, until next time, I'm Adam, and this was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.